Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. So today is a Sunday and we are going to be doing some analysis for these pairs. However, I wanted to highlight on the strategy on this pair Euro GBP. I've discovered this pair respects this strategy a lot, the supply and demand strategy. So if you just combine it with top-down analysis, I think you'll get the best out of this pair. So if you look at my previous videos, this is an area I highlighted, especially on the weekly time frame, that price was going to come and probably most likely to react from this area. And you see price made a base rally, and then it came to react from this area, which it reacted in perfectly with the rejection, and then it started moving up, and our target was this one here. Ideally, if you know our strategy, then you would know where the target was. So I don't even need to tell you. You would know where the target was going to be, and you know where price would likely react from. And it gave a perfect reaction from this area and went up. Perfect reaction and went up. And also, if you look here, it did not tap in. It was supposed to react from this area. However, it did not. It reacted from the extreme supply up here and dropped down up to this level. So I wanted to go through it, I think, and starting from the daily time frame. Starting from the daily time frame. So I think we shall start from where? We shall start from okay, we shall start from by analyzing this trade first, and then we shall proceed to look for setups behind this. However, we are at 400 subscribers and the target is 500. So let's subscribe before we go ahead with the analysis. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. So let's subscribe to the channel, guys, and then I shall proceed. Okay, so let's proceed with the analysis. So we had let's start from here first. Let's start from the recent. We had price dropping on the daily time frame, dropping towards this zone, and as it was dropping towards that zone, we had our setup, the one that I always tell you, the one I use for full margin. So we had price make a support here, went up, used it as support again, went up, and then came, left a supply zone, and then broke the support. So if you put the line chart, you will see it here. See it there. It doesn't always have to be perfect, as long as it's an area. You see, with support and resistance, it is an area, it is a zone, not a line or an area on the chart. It is a zone. So price retested here, went up, then broke, leaving a supply zone here. So just mark that supply zone like this, that was the zone that was left as supply. So price broke up to here and went back to retest the supply zone. So what we do, we go back to the lower time frame, that is the, let's say, the 4 hour, and look at it well. You see, this is support, price went up, used it as support, and it was testing this area, bought from there, bought again from there, went up, then came, used this as support. This time don't go up, ranged, and then came, broke this area, went down. After it broke here, it went down. So went down up to around here. So we're waiting for a retest from this area, and then we can send it down. However, I think this one was not clear enough. Let me see the 1 hour. Not there. Is here. So this is the 1 hour. Why did it break from range? Broke from here. Broke from here. Where is it? Broke from here and left at the supply zone. Yes, supply zone. Broke here, went down, left the supply zone here. So this was the zone. That was the zone. So we're marking mainly this green candle, but I just included up there because it is near. You see that green candle, this green candle here, and the 1 hour, like that. So I'll mark it up there to include this area here. So that was the supply zone after price broke there. So your entries would be on that zone, and then the stop losses above. So since it is 24, I would make it 25 pips. If you're using lot size 1, that would be $250. Okay, so now you come back to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, the entry will look like that. Price ranged a little bit and then broke and gave you 1:1, 300 pips. Come to the daily, track it from the daily, 300 pips, and then price dropped because you knew the target was here. So price dropped up to our target, which was 140 pips, up to that level, 140 pips. That was the take profit. It took some time to reach there, but if you're swing trading, then you wouldn't have any issues with that. So now this is like a break and retest. At the same time, there is a supply zone around that area which was retested many times. So this is where patience kicks in, because when price was retesting this area, this is one, took how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4. It took around a full week retesting that area. So if you did not have the patience, you're going to move out or move your stop losses early enough before price finally proceeded to your take profit. So that was one. So now, why did we see that as a take profit? Because there was a clean demand zone, perfect demand zone around here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was a perfect demand zone around there. So expect, and when price reaches this area, it is more likely to turn around, and go to the upside. So the stop losses would be there 75 pips. Why? Because this is a daily zone. When you go to the 4 hour, you can refine it, but I'd like to use the daily zone because the demand zone is on the daily. So around 75 pips, but you would reduce this one to around there, I think. Okay, around 60 pips, because if you go lower and wanting to refine, you would miss out on the trade. So around 60 pips, that's $600 you entered the size 1. So this one would have made around $1,400. This one is you're risking 600 from this 1,400, and then the target would be this previous high here, which is around $30,000. So you hold that price, hold that long, price moved and eventually gave you the pips there. So that's how you swing trade with supply and demand. And what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to follow this price action and see where we would have taken some trades before. So here we had a rally, a base, and a rally. This is a very good move away. This is a very good move away that you would enter any day, anytime. And there was a demand zone here, daily demand zone. So you would enter from here. And guys, I'm giving you setup as well. It's 25 pips, targeting the previous high, which is 156 pips. However, price moved 74 pips and then retraced back. So at 74 pips, if I had moved your stop losses above break even, you are going to be stopped out. So you do not gain anything from that trade, and you do not lose anything because you had moved your stop losses. So why did the price move back? It wanted to test the last demand zone, which is here, that last demand zone. That is what price wanted to test before it can buy massively like it bought. So the real demand zone was here. The real demand zone was there, 35 pips. And then target the previous high, which is 194 pips. That is 1:5. Price retraced a little bit and then went up to 400 pips if you're still patient enough to hold up to there. So that was also a clean demand zone. So we proceed. We have a rally base drop. Price used it. No, this one was not used. So we have another one here. This one looks like a break and retest. This one, price using a support, broke, leaving a supply zone here, and then dropped down. So you'd mark this supply zone like this, supply zone like that. However, your stop losses were going to go above. You'd enter from there. Since this is a daily zone, your stop losses have to be above here. That is 60 pips. 60 pips, you can reduce it up to there. Why do they have to be above? Because this zone is near here. Yes, we know it is down, however, price might want to come and react from this extreme supply zone. So your target would be the previous low, which is here, and this is on the daily, guys. Remember, we can refine on the 4 hours. So your target will be the previous low, which is here 93, 100. Well, okay, let's make 100. So 104. That is 1:7.2. Price retraced. But this one, at least up to here, this would be your target. When it comes back, you would just re-enter again. Oh, I had forgotten. There's also another zone here. I had not seen it. This is drop, base, rally, leaving a demand zone here. Price used it very well, which it later used here. Okay, so I think that was just a recap on this trade. This trade, that is, there's also one here, but this one price did not respect it because it was already in a downtrend. However, it had broken the structure here, so this was a good zone to buy from, but because price was breaking lower lows and lower highs, did not buy from there. So I think that is all. It was just a mere recap on that, a small recap on that, and yeah, so we shall meet in another video. Let's keep on practicing, backtest, and see what you can get out of it. For now, that is all. Kindly like the video. Also, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. We're averaging 100 subscribers every week. So we're going to start a new week tomorrow. Probably by Friday, we should be having 100 more subscribers, making it 500. So subscribe to the channel and like the video. Bye.